I want to thank the Chamber for the opportunity to share the views of Ward 6. As a businesswoman, I feel the Chamber is a valued member of the community. For myself, I grew up in Sherwood Park since 1956. My dad was the first fire chief, my mother was one of the first realtors, and I lived in one of the first 100 houses, and it was a dirt road to Edmonton. Since then, I have seen so many amazing changes. Sherwood Heights was one of the only schools from grade 1 to 9. There was only one major playground just off of Sherwood Heights with a skating rink, and it seemed as though most of the kids had nothing better to do than walk around the neighborhood, raid gardens, and maybe take a little milk money. However, to see how it is now, it's a joy. My children have grown up here, my grandchildren are growing up here, and it is a community that I love dearly. Thank you so much. What do the residents of Ward 6 feel are the important issues for this election? While campaigning over the last few weeks, I've had conversations with numerous residents, most of whom are content with the status quo. That being said, many have raised issues that they feel are important. Some of those issues are as follows: concerns that taxes may increase as a result of decisions being made by council. They expect fiscal responsibility in such a way as to ensure that future development does not lead to increased taxes. Crumbling roads in some divisions are still a concern. Concerns regarding a lack of consultation and engagement with planning and development. Residents are feeling unheard and dismissed by current council as a result of certain projects being passed and others being thrust upon them despite opposition. Residents of Ward 6 expect to have a voice at council. Concerns over policing and security in rural areas is always a concern. The RCMP are to be commended for a decrease in crime by 17%. What do they want from their councillors in the next 4 years? The residents of Ward 6 expect to have their voice at council. They expect a councillor willing to be engaged and have constructive conversations and to take their concerns to council. Seniors and housing are always a concern. They want true and accurate representation and not promises. They expect fiscal responsibility that supports future development and safety at the center of their community while not having a devastating impact on taxes. How will you balance the Ward 6 residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in my decision making? To quote Aristotle, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." I recognize that we are a community and we must come together and function as a whole to be great. Now, that being said, I wouldn't be elected by the residents of Ward 6, and I would represent them and their voice on council. That is their expectation, to be their voice, and that is my commitment. I also understand that not all of the residents will have the same opinion on all issues. We live in a democratic society, and therefore the majority rules. In conclusion, I offer a mature and consistent service to Ward 6. It would be an honor to be their voice. My closing remarks will be made without notes, because it has to be offered from the heart. The one thing that I can say is, having lived here for 65 years, is I have seen things grow, and I have seen opportunities continue to be offered to our youth in employment because of the huge business community we now have. I can remember when I started my first business in 1971. A lone little salon started in Edmonton, and soon to come to Sherwood Park, and 5 other salons along the way, along with a restaurant and bar in Sherwood Park and a clothing store. So I have seen businesses come and go, and for the most part, I know that the most important thing that the Chamber has been doing is shop Sherwood Park, shop local. And that is so important. It's all fine to have many of the chains, but the people that put their money, invest their lives and their times in this community are of utmost importance. I have also seen that in the rural area, there are businesses as well. And they offer construction, so many other things. And I would like to be able to pull the two together, be a voice for all of the county, as well as my ward. And that comes from listening and caring and maturity. Thank you so much.